Michael is 55 years old. One morning, he woke up and noticed something unusual. There was a slightly sour, unfamiliar smell lingering on his pillowcase and sleepwear. He frowned in confusion. The night before, he had showered carefully using antibacterial soap. He had recently changed to a new body wash. He even applied deodorant and cologne. Yet by midday, that strange scent was still noticeable, especially around the underarm area. Michael began to feel self-conscious. He hesitated to meet friends for coffee. He even felt uncomfortable sitting close to family members. A quiet thought crossed his mind. Is this happening because I'm getting older? If you have ever had a similar experience, you are not alone. Millions of adults over the age of 50 notice changes in body odor. And the truth is, this usually has nothing to do with poor hygiene. It is often part of a natural physiological transition that happens as the body ages. To understand why this happens, we need to look beneath the surface of the skin. Because the first surprising fact is this: sweat itself has no smell. According to medical reports cited by Cleveland Clinic, sweat is composed mostly of water and salt and is naturally odorless. So where does body odor come from? The answer lies in the microscopic organisms living on our skin. The human body has two primary types of sweat glands: eccrine glands and apocrine glands. Eccrine glands are distributed across most of the body. They release a watery sweat that helps regulate temperature when we exercise or experience heat. This type of sweat is relatively neutral and rarely produces odor. Apocrine glands are different. They are located mainly in areas with dense hair follicles, such as the armpits and groin. Research from Lacey Lab on the microbial origins of body odor explains that apocrine glands release a thicker fluid rich in proteins, lipids, and fatty acids. For the millions of bacteria naturally present on human skin, this secretion acts like a nutrient source. Bacteria such as Corynebacterium and Staphylococcus break down these proteins and lipids. During this metabolic process, volatile organic compounds are released. These compounds are responsible for the distinctive scent we recognize as body odor. But why does this odor often become stronger after 50? One major factor is hormonal change. As we move into midlife, the endocrine system begins to shift. For many women, this stage includes perimenopause and menopause. According to the health platform The Better Menopause, estrogen levels decrease significantly during this time. When estrogen declines, the relative proportion of androgen hormones may increase. This alters the chemical composition of sweat. The skin environment becomes more favorable for bacterial growth. As a result, body odor may become stronger, sharper, or slightly different from before. Another common experience during this stage of life is hot flashes and night sweats. Hormonal fluctuations can signal the brain that the body is overheating. The brain responds by activating sweat production. Clothing and bedding become damp. Moisture creates an ideal environment for bacteria to thrive. Interestingly, hormonal changes may also influence the sense of smell itself. Some adults report experiencing phantom smells, sensing odors that others do not detect. Stress can also play a role. During midlife, many adults face hidden pressures, concerns about health, sleep disturbances, emotional transitions. According to the International Hyperhidrosis Society, stress strongly activates apocrine sweat glands. Stress-related sweat is released rapidly and contains higher concentrations of proteins and lipids. These compounds provide rich nutrients for bacteria. This explains why sweat associated with anxiety often smells stronger than sweat produced during exercise. Have you ever noticed your body odor seems stronger during stressful periods? Now let's explore a very specific type of odor that often causes concern: a sour smell, similar to vinegar. Consider the story of Robert, age 58. During a routine checkup, his doctor informed him that his blood sugar level was slightly elevated. After speaking with friends, Robert decided to reduce carbohydrates and switch to a low-carb diet, sometimes referred to as keto. At the same time, he began taking vitamin B supplements daily to reduce tingling sensations in his feet. Everything seemed positive at first, but about 1 week later, his wife mentioned something unexpected. She noticed his sweat and even his breath smelled unusually sour, almost like fermented vinegar. Robert became worried. He showered twice daily, but the smell persisted. He wondered whether something was wrong internally. However, this situation often reflects a normal biochemical response. According to clinical analysis of acetic acid-associated bromhidrosis, sweat contains compounds such as lactic acid and glycerol. Skin bacteria, including propionibacteria and staphylococcus, can metabolize these compounds into propionic acid and acetic acid. Acetic acid is the primary component responsible for the smell of vinegar. From a scientific perspective, sweat can effectively undergo a mild fermentation process on the surface of the skin. Diet can also influence odor. According to medical information summarized by Healthline, when carbohydrate intake is reduced, the body begins using fat as its primary energy source. This metabolic process produces ketones. One ketone, acetone, may be released through breath, sweat, and urine. Acetone has a distinctive scent, often described as fruity, fermented, or similar to nail polish remover. This state is known as nutritional ketosis. It is generally not harmful, but it can cause noticeable changes in odor. Vitamin supplements may also contribute. Certain B vitamins and vitamin D can influence urine and body odor. Another factor to consider is a bacterial condition known as trichomycosis. According to the medical journal Curious, this condition occurs when Corynebacterium bacteria adhere to hair shafts, forming a colored coating. This coating traps sweat and encourages ongoing fermentation, producing a strong, sour smell. Researchers observed that approximately 35.7% of individuals with this condition reported distinctly sour underarm odor. Now let's move to another odor type that may feel more concerning, an ammonia-like smell. Daniel, age 62, noticed that after gardening and light exercise, his sweat had a sharp, pungent odor. At first, he assumed it was related to diet or dehydration, but the smell persisted. The kidneys play a crucial role in filtering nitrogen waste products from the bloodstream. One of the main waste compounds is urea. When kidney function declines, urea may accumulate in the blood. The body may attempt to eliminate excess urea through sweat. When sweat containing urea reaches the skin surface, bacteria break it down into ammonia. Ammonia produces a strong odor, often compared to cleaning products or urine. Hydration levels and high-protein diets may intensify this effect. The liver is also deeply involved in detoxification. When liver function becomes impaired, sulfur-containing compounds may accumulate in the bloodstream. A condition known as fetor hepaticus may produce a musty, slightly sweet, or mold-like odor. Some medical descriptions compare it to the scent of a damp basement or even rotten eggs. Another unusual odor sometimes described is a sweet or fruity scent. Linda, age 56, noticed her breath occasionally smelled like overripe fruit. She also experienced increased thirst and fatigue. When the body cannot effectively use glucose for energy, it may rely heavily on fat metabolism. This process generates ketones. When ketone levels rise significantly, acetone may be released through breath and sweat. Acetone produces the distinctive fruity scent. In some cases, this may occur when blood sugar is not well regulated. There are also rare odor patterns reported in medical literature. A fish-like smell may be linked to trimethylaminuria, a genetic metabolic disorder. Some individuals describe urine that smells similar to broth. Autoimmune conditions such as lupus may affect kidney filtration, allowing proteins to leak into urine. Protein presence may alter odor characteristics. Studies indicate that between 5% and 15% of individuals with systemic lupus may also develop type 2 diabetes, which may further influence metabolic odor patterns. All of this leads to an important realization. Body odor can reflect internal metabolic processes. It may act as a subtle signal of changes occurring inside the body. So what can help support natural odor balance? According to dermatology guidance referenced by Healthline, daily cleansing with antibacterial soap may reduce odor-causing bacteria. Keeping skin dry is important because bacteria thrive in moist environments. Clothing made from breathable natural fibers such as cotton allows sweat to evaporate more efficiently. Synthetic fabrics may trap moisture and intensify odor. Hydration plays an essential role. Water helps dilute waste compounds and supports kidney function. Dietary adjustments may also help. Foods high in sulfur compounds, such as garlic, onions, red meat, and cruciferous vegetables, may influence odor intensity when metabolized. Antiperspirants differ from deodorants. Deodorants primarily mask odor with fragrance. Antiperspirants contain aluminum salts that temporarily block sweat glands, reducing moisture on the skin surface. In cases of excessive sweating, medical treatments such as microwave thermolysis or botulinum toxin injections may help reduce sweat production for several months. However, external solutions may not address internal causes. If body odor changes are accompanied by persistent fatigue, swelling, changes in urination, extreme thirst, or unexplained weight loss, discussing symptoms with a healthcare professional may be beneficial. These changes may warrant evaluation of kidney or liver function or blood glucose levels. At the same time, it is important to remember, aging is a natural biological process. The body evolves over time. It adapts. It communicates. Body odor is sometimes one of the ways the body signals internal shifts. Balanced nutrition, adequate hydration, stress management, regular medical checkups. These habits may support well-being throughout the aging process. Before we finish, here is a simple question. Have you personally noticed changes in body odor after 50? Was the change subtle or more noticeable? Many people experience these changes but rarely talk about them openly. Sharing experiences may help others feel less alone. This information is intended for educational purposes only and does not replace professional medical advice. If you found this discussion helpful, consider sharing it with someone who may also benefit. Understanding the body is one of the most powerful steps toward healthy aging. Wishing you clarity, confidence, and continued well-being in the years ahead.